It was at the University of Bern, the SM seminar, I think 2012 or 13, where my poster presentation was invited, and it was titled "Imagining the Revival of an Extinct Tradition." Right now, it'll look, you might see that there is a pakhavaj, there is a taus, there is singing going on, and there are students now, not just on the performative stage, but space, or also on the in the academic field. But go back about 30 years, nothing existed. It has taken a journey, and you see, the indigenous pedagogical processes about which I've been speaking about, they have a lot of capacity. They can take even naive or childish remarks in their stride. It's not a problem, it's plenty of patience. One of the aspects you need to see is that on the stage today, there are a few things that I've somehow been privileged to actually revive them. Pioneering work, it's not following somebody, these are facts. Taus, for example, is not a IPR of my family tradition. It was the grandfather of this gentleman who's not my blood relation, who was the last remaining lute maker, who made them in 1949. I discovered him. It spent 8-9 years of research. I found the only one surviving with the memory, know-how of actually making them. This is my actual handcraft. It's not ordered from some artisan. It needed about finding tools and talking of ologies, musicologies, theologies, etymologies, this and that. When an instrument dies, as I wrote some time back, the tools die. The indigenous traditions are not built by ignorant fellows. They're built by very evolved people. And India is, and this chair, and I'm very grateful to the ones who have been the patrons and the hosts, the university, the Loyola Marymount University, where you have two of, as earlier Mr. Jain was mentioning, two very unique, one of the oldest religions on the planet, and one of the youngest dharma, which is the Sikh dharma. You have two chairs combined and everything in between, because you cannot talk about one without counting the rest of the numerics on the spectrum. When I needed to create the taus, I had to recreate the tools. I had to imagine what the tools would have been. No tools that existed that one could make a sarangi with, or a dilruba with, or a sarod with, can come handy. Just by sheer depth of this instrument, the first one I built, all my knuckles were gone. My skin was gone because I did not have the tools. But then I learned what depth did they have. Then I interacted with the elders. So Gurbani Sangit is one of the genres. The point I'm making is, you do not have the tools to study it. You will have to first learn the tools or create the tools, craft them to study this field. People who understand the history of ethnomusicology, but in particularly the Indic musical systems, they have studied systems and they have gained tools. Salutations to all the ethnographers, Indologists, musicologists who ventured in the South Asian spectrum, or it's a spectre, it's a spectacle. Salutations to the work, but these fields have been yet to be probed, they're yet to be discovered and probed. Recoveries need to be made from the ruins. You need to then analyze what has been found. then you will find patterns. That's how we've been working. We're not ignorant fellows. So to revive an instrument, the tools had to be revived. Then the playing techniques had to be revived. You don't go to a museum and take a photo and try to make a replica. That is not how it happened. This bow is my design. Why? Because I could not find one bow maker in the whole of South Asia. I could not go to Bangladesh, but Pakistan and India and Nepal, 3 places I've seen. Nobody knew how to make a bow for the taus, but I had to rely on the memory of the elders to understand how would a curve look like. And it's made by, I went to some of the top bow makers. Alain Heroux made my first bow. He was like totally freaked out. He said, why do you need a curve like this? It's been modern, you know, it was done, it's evolved. So the curve of the reverse curve of the modern bow was being proposed until I found Nicola Galliena, who specializes in Baroque era bow making. He's made this bow, and these bows begin from 5,000 or 8,000 euros onwards. So point I'm making is, things have been we've gone into a lot of detail. The Pakhavich, for example, is here, and a system is going to be played. It's not a showpiece. It's a very intricate attendance in the kriya of Gurbani Kirtan. I studied with Bhai Arjan Singh Tarangad, who's again not my blood relation, by light years. Reviving the tradition, hence it came. So, before we attend, we need to look at the kind of research that has gone on. It took so many elders to gather the grammar of singing. And all of that, I'm honored and I'm grateful to all those who enabled this sacred space to be created, where it is my honor, I'm sure you will also feel honored, where the memory of centuries is coming together, from so many streams being brought together. These are some of the thoughts I wanted to share with you all. And I'm going to start because I happen to be the head of the oldest school of the drums. I didn't make myself one, but I'm going to play the shan which was spoken about yesterday, this instrument which I was fortunate to revive. And the Pakhavich of Punjab is the oldest surviving system of percussion in South Asia. Elders have said, I don't know, all of them acknowledge. No other school goes to the times of Guru Nanak, for example. Hence we say that. And I will play 3-4 minutes of the shan, and you will see the swagger of Punjab, the sway, and the idea of intoxicatedness without relying on any external substance. I mean, the thought of it, I'm already hooked already. It is such an instrument. And I'll play with Nirvair. I just play 2-3 minutes to give you a reference to my colleagues who follow the Jain Marga. In the ancient times, Nandi used to be played before Kirtana would begin. And it was the playing of the Mardal or Mardang. And when I was invited to inaugurate the Kalidas Sammelan, I was specially requested by Professor Kamlesh Datta Tripathi, who is one of the greatest scholars India has produced in the field of Kashmiri Shaivism and Natya Shastra. He ordered me, he's an elder, he's in a place he could order me. So I played the shan as we call it. It's Nandi in the ancient times. And I will feel very honored to begin a few minutes, slow tempo, and you see how they created the idea. When they used to say, and I was very happy, I don't know if there was one professor who was talking about healing, and I wrote a note, I don't know if she got it, but the idea of healing, it is said about the mridang, ancient, that wherever as far as the sound of the mridang goes, the devil does not enter that space. One of the things. So I'll see what all comes to the memory. I'll go on sharing now. So the Shankha, the discipline of breath. What happens when it comes in? What happens when you hold it? What happens when you let it go without realizing, as Nanak says, Hum aadmi hai kadami. You're worth one breath. You don't know whether it's going to come back or not. What happens then? And when you see it coming, what happens to you? It's all in the Pahawaj itself. And Shabad is said to have played it, no? One of the very fascinating compositions from the Golden Temple. As Guru said, mere talk doesn't take you to heaven. You need to taste. As another composition says, you need to taste before you tell how it tastes. Small things. I have to stop because then I would have gone and spent the whole hour playing Pakhavaj, and I love playing it. And since Parminder has become a player of some repute, I used to begin my concerts playing the Shan myself. Now he plays good because you had heard it, and Niranjan also used to play. But she's been reading too many books for the last few years, and what they gave her is just a certificate. It says PhD, University of Michigan. I mean, come on. I needed you to spend a few tens of thousands of hours playing the drums, huh? But it's okay. We'll get you back. And I have chosen to begin with, again, the idea of, you see, the semantic precision, if I may use that term. The endeavor was that if I'm singing a raga, I did not want someone to come and say, well, that's from our tradition, that's not Sikh. That care has also been taken, so whatever I'm singing, and I'll give you illustrations. I was one of the first people, one of maybe some others were there, who belonged to a tradition, but who went to several ancient traditions to study their grammar, the pedagogy of how they transferred knowledge. And I'll give illustrations. I'll try to, as I sing. I've chosen to go with Rag Kalyan today, although it's a little late, but Kalyan, I mean, we're all interested in Kalyan, isn't it? Yeah. It's about emancipation, and that's why the Raga Kalyan also means celebration, as does Bilawal mean the same. So, it's never a bad time to sing Kalyan, with the hope that maybe it'll happen. And I've been a fine comrade, not the left comrade, having spent the day with the scholars, I should have rather rested myself before singing. So if I goof up, please understand, I'm now getting old. Of the seventh in the lower octave. You will find it in the piano scale. And I'll touch it 1,000 times if you want. It'll be that same. You see, we from Punjab understand simple logic. You say you want to make vegetables, cook vegetables. But we say, but you need to have vegetables first, then you cook them, no? That's it. That's simple logic. And I want to cook like Guru Nanak cooked. Jain Rave Bhakti Ron Muktaye Cheta Sakyo bhavarina ko parasatab kankara. That's a little surprise for my Jain friends. Who recognized what I sang? It's the Eki Bhav Stotra, the first pada that I chose to begin the Mangala Charan with. As the time is just about an hour and a quarter, I'm going to illustrate, for example, about the pedagogy. How have the ragas been taught in the Gurbani Sangit tradition? No, it's not about mere talk. The pedagogy, I'll show you. And these are some of the rare compositions, even in the field of Indian musicology. And we have debated and discussed with elders from the southern Indian like Professor N. Ramanathan and others, and they're surprised to see the existence of such intricate compositions which have been used over the centuries to impart the knowledge of singing of ragas. Look at Kalyan. I'm singing Kalyan, so I'll give you two small quick illustrations before I come and sing an original of Guru Arjan Dev. Zare gare gare gau ma pada pa ma gare sa. Zare gare gare gau ma pada pa ma gare sa. Zare gare gare gau ma pada pa ma gare sa. Zare gare gau ma pada pa ma gare sa. Zare gare gare gau gare sa sa re gare ga ma pa da pa ma gare sa sa re gare ga ma pa da pa ma gare sa sa re gare ga ma pa da pa ma gare sa re gare sa re gare gare ga ma pa da pa ma gare sa sa re gare ga ma pa da pa ma gare sa sa ni da pa ma gare ni da pa ma gare sa sa re ga ma pa ma gare sa re gare ga ma pa da pa ma gare sa sa re gare ga ma pa da pa ma gare sa sa re gare ga ma pa da pa ma gare sa sa re gare ma pa da pa ma gare sa sa ni da pa ma gare ni da pa ma gare da ni sa sa re ga ma pa ma gare sa sa re gare sa re gare ga ma pa da pa ma gare sa. In the stanza. repositories of information from centuries ago. Sa sa da ni da pa ma ga re. Sa sa da ni da pa ma ga re. Ga re re ga re re ga ma ma pa pa da ni sa sa re ga re ni da pa ma ga re da ni re sa sa re ga ma pa ma ga re sa sa re ga re ga ma pa da pa ma ga re sa sa re ga ga ma pa da pa ma ga re sa sa re ga ga ma pa da pa ma ga re sa sa ni da pa ma ga re da ni re sa sa re ga ma pa ma ga re sa sa re ga ma pa da pa ma ga re sa sa re ga ma pa da pa ma ga re sa sa re ga re ga ma pa da pa ma ga re sa 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 da ni da pa ma ga re sa 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 da ni da pa ma ga re descendant gamak, very rare again. Sa sa da ni da pa ma ga re sa 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 da ni da pa ma ga re ga re ga ma ma pa pa da ni sa sa re ga re ni da pa ma ga re da ni re sa re ga ma ma ga re sa sa re ga re ga ma pa da pa ma ga re sa sa re ga. And second, go ma pa da ni da pa ma pa go ma pa ga ma pa da ni da pa ma pa go ma pa da ni da pa ma pa go ma pa ma ga re sa ga re ma ga re sa ni sa re ga ma pa da ga ma pa da ni da pa ma pa go ma pa go ma pa go ma pa. Give you an example. We talk of traditions. It's not just the word tradition. This is a pedagogy. And when we say there are the traditions, we say, well, okay, wonderful. How did you teach a certain raga? I'm talking within the tradition space, infra-agosic space. And I'm going to sing now a composition. A very lot of attention is given to exactness. We spend decades. And as yesterday, for example, if I may, because it's not that one has to offer critique about other papers. I'm going to critique my own students' rendition. That there were, for example, Bihagada when it was sung. As I told, Bob was sitting next to me. I got up and said, reiteration is the next stage. We come up, we have very few people, so don't be frightened with your name being called from the stage so many times. But I got up and told you, because it was in context, that reiteration, it's not that because she's my student I'm going to be like this, oh yeah, wonderful. No, reiteration is next. Look at so much that was happening. 15 beat, a rare cycle is being sung with absolute fluency and calm. There's nothing complicated. But then subtleties, small aspects. And as we talk like this conversation, because we're very open, it's an open field. We're very ruthless when we learn. We are fearless when we learn. And we got to be. We cannot be insulated in insulated reality. So reiteration is something that is a very important process. Usually learning happens, oh, I learned this and I've moved on now. So I go with maybe 5 things out of 20 and I've missed 15. And that's where we say, oh, how can it be taught? See this difference. So we in the tradition have a system of seeing who studied for what length of time. Who has had the chance at reiterating knowledge, and that's one of the things. Anyway, this composition is Guru Arjan's original. And the text is, would you recite the text?
Gunanada, Dona, Ananda Veda.
Ananda Veda.
Ananda Veda. Katata, Sunata.
Kathata Sunata Bha. Gunanada, Dhonananda Veda, Kathata Sunata Muni Janamil Sant Mandali is the Asthai. Gyan, Dhyan, Man, Dan, Man, Rasik, Rasan, Nam, Japatatah, Papa Khandali. Talking of eradication of papa, of sin. This is one composition that talks of that. It's to do with healing. Suffering is by way of sin. So how do you eradicate? So these are compositions that we relate to that. The Sanchari is the Jog Jugati Gyan Bhugati Surat Sabad Tat Bete Japatava Akhandali Oti Poti Miljot Nanak Kach Dukhana Dandali. Is a composition by Guru Arjan in Chartal in Raga Kalyan.
Surati Shabad
like a ritual. Riti, like Riti Rawaj. What was the Riti in which the Shabad came? Or how it was sung? And in terms of revival of a tradition, we looked at all aspects. Whether it was singing, its grammar, the ragic grammar, what is the idea of voice production, what is the kantvina, the 8 parts, talu, jibya, danti, oshti, mordini, nasika, anunasika, niranasika. What is it? How do you manage it? How do you attain the makhraj? Talking of instrument, making, playing techniques. Playing, making techniques, everything. And then idea was, I cannot just be singing or learning just the composition with a contemporary paraphernalia. You know, I come from an aviation background, so we have simulators. You know, we have to get in a simulator. So even if I am to taste something, touch something, I have to simulate some reality. I cannot go back in time, but I can try to dig out as many traces and restructure and maybe then see how it may have been. Maybe I'll be able to extrapolate something then, have an estimation at least. Before that, it's going to be just bogus. As my Dada Guru, Ustad Rahimuddin, one of my grand teachers, I've got, being mentored by 27 elders, I have 27 grand teachers. And sometimes they had many. So imagine the consortium. One of them, Ustad Rahimuddin Dagar, used to say, "Kare bhaiya, संगीत गाने की चीज है, बोलने की नहीं." Oh, big brother, Mian Sahib, he would tell his son, "Hey, sonny, music is for singing, not for talking." Beautiful, isn't it? संगीत गाने की चीज है, बोलने की नहीं. So, just giving you some examples. When we recover, I'm going to give you one small example of what happens then in 21st century. If we were able to recover the ragic, all the mechanics, technologies, what kind of a composition can occur if you've gained the perspective? I'm going to sing now a small example of a composition of Guru Arjan again, but having gained some understanding of how they composed, what was their perspective, and seeing whether the 4 elements of the raga, Birj Roop of the raga, the Pran Roop, the Maram Roop, the Sannyas Roop, the Vairag Roop, all of that. And then you have the Tal, Sam, Visam, Atit, Anaghat, Kal, Man, Kriya, 8 Bhedas, 8 aspects or attributes. Until then we don't know what rhythm is. Then there is Shabda, the Drishtan, the Dadrishtan, the Arthbodh. And then the Surt and Chit. Then the person wherein all of these need to now be put together like a smelting pot, as if. All of these are for study. So gaining an understanding here, look at this composition. The Shabad is Mere Lalan ki Sobha. It'll come. When I sing, it'll come. I think usually sometimes I forget the text. As I said, I'm getting old. Sauta Sahib, you yet to grow a beard. I have one to show you. When will yours come? We Punjabi say, we can't live without laughing. We have to tease each other, even if there is no excuse. I mean, there's no reason. So please excuse us for that. Look at this composition. Very complex structure of 10 beats. Subha mere lalan ki sobha, mere lalan ki sobha. Subha mere lalan ki sobha, mere lalan ki sobha. Kalyan, original text is also in Kalyan. Subha mere lalan ki sobha. Mere lalan ki sadhana badan man rangi sobha, mere lalan ki sobha. Soba mere lalane ki, soba mere lalane ki, soba. Soba mere lalane ki, soba mere lalane ki, sadhana badana mana rangi, sadhana badana mana rangi, soba. Soba mere lalane ki, soba. Brahma Mahesha Siddh Mone Ram. Brahma-mahesha Siddh Monendra Bhagat Dan Jasamangi Mere Lalane ki. Brahma-mahesha Siddh Monendra Bhagat Dan Jasamangi Mere Lalane ki. Soba Mere Lalane ki, Soba. Soba Mere Lalane ki, sadhana mana rangi, sadhana badana mana rangi, soba mere lalane ki, soba mere lalane ki. Yog gyan dhyan sekhna hai, sagal japat rangi. Yog gyan dhyan sekhna hai, sagal japat rangi. Kau nanak santan balhare jo, Prabh ke satsangi mere lalane ki, soba mere lalane ki, sadhana badana mana rangi, sadhana badana mana rangi, soba mere lalane ki, soba. Soba mere lalane ki, soba mere lalane ki, soba mere lalane ki, soba. It's a very complex structure which I composed. It just came. I was sitting in Chandigarh and I was singing, practicing alap and this composition came. The text I already remembered. This is an example of when you've gotten the perspective, things begin to come and they have a sense. And how do we understand this in Turki Bani Ai? Is it human effete? Or is it celestial? It's very human. You need to get the grammar, you need to be a person of learning. And so that when the urge comes, it comes, makes sense. For example, if you were to look at some of the, I don't know if one of these diaries, to give an example. For example, there's a composition here in percussion. It's original. I write it and then I see, oh gosh, it's in char tal or tin tal. It just fits. I don't have to modify. This is original calligraphy. So one just has to, if I borrow from the aviator's world, you just need to build a fine runway. There are plenty of planes that fly around. If they see a nice runway, they come and land. And then you say, hello, nice to see you. And then you take sometimes a selfie or a photo, and then those things remain like the composition I sang. Now, talking of traditions, within the realm of the Gurbani Sangit has, I think, I mentioned about the healing. This composition has a historic record of someone who was close to the Guru, had become sick, and then this mention of that disease in this is there. That Sitala te rakhya vyohari, par brahm prab kirpa dhari, netra pragas kiya. And then you see when we look at the mutualism of rag, tal, shabad and surt or chit. Or in the ancient Natya Shastra, you go in rag, there's no raga, there's swara. Talaha, tal samigraha, swara sangataha, tal samigraha. And then avadhanu, they call it. They don't have the, the rag is not there in Natya Shastra. It comes but in prema, as love, rather than as a musical system. So there is swara sangataha, the combination or family of notes, a constellation of notes is how it is remembered. And you have to look at the mutualism of the netra pragas kiya, the eyes have been illumined by the Guru. Netra pragas kiya Gurudev. The Gurudev has illumined my eyes. So the netra begins at sa. That means the state is where I am at netra. Immediately it's been taken to nikha. That means the Gurudev is now taking the eyes. Netra paraga. गास नेत्र भर गास किया गुरुदेव. There's a conversation happening. So it's not just a flat singing. It's like you can go back in time. And this to me is not again my blood relation. It comes to me from Bibi Jaswant Kaur, who was again living in anonymity. I was fortunate to discover her out. And then brought to Javadi, for example, in '96. I brought her at that time. And I requested her to sing Suhi, and I told Baba Sucha Singh, who was sitting on the stage, there will be videos if you see me singing along with her or playing Pakhalaj. I said to him that fortunately the second reference of Rag Suhi in the whole of the Sikh community apart from my granduncles. Second reference, we're fortunate to have. How invaluable is this example? Otherwise you just have one account. In '96 I'm telling Baba Sucha Singh on the stage itself. The discourse is very old and it's very rich and very dynamic. And look at this composition which she studied from Paitaba, the Rababi of Amritsar. We sing this composition in a slow tempo, which is said to be the original in Gaudi Jayati, but this is very beautiful. I'll just sing one line. Anetra Paragas Kiya Gurudev Netra Paragas Kiya Gurudev 14 studied from my granduncles. And look at what Paitaba, Rababi, who taught Bibi Jaswant, and I had the fortune of singing. I'll quickly sing one of the compositions which is to do with healing, related to the healing process. In 10 beats. You will find Namdharis playing this theka. One of the things that was written by me, recovered by me. This theka itself of the Sulfata. Look at this. You see the Nikhar intonation is different than the Kalyan. Point to be noted. And Kiya has got a fire in it. It has been done almost like smelting. The impossible has been turned possible. And one more thing about the musical elements, the gamak is seen as in two lights. One is the depiction of ego. So in the words when it says bharam, illusions, delusions, you will see the employment of gamak. And then puram, you will see the element soothe. Ancient and not my creation. Look at the values. When we look at the aesthetical analysis, the mutualism of all elements. And then the idea, why is prakash on the sun on the first beat? Because who cares about the eyes? What mattered was whether they were illumined or not. So the idea of illumination is most important, and it is placed on the sum. Netra is just taken, and then at the moment of the sum, it is illumined. And then Gandhar, the third note, is called the Ashirvadatmak Swara. Where you pray, where you receive. Look at the ancient Rupan concepts. And then you think those people must have been something. There was a mention about Guru Ram Das's contribution earlier. The first composition that I studied, of the first pratal that I studied, was of Guru Ram Das in the year 1988. Mere man sev safal har ghal in Raga Naran. I had no idea how extraordinarily difficult and rare this raga is. I mean, you open a book and you have no idea what you're like a child playing with snakes. You think they're toys, they're buddies, they're pets. So it was something like that. And I had the fortune of singing this one. Javati was 97 BB just one, 96 at Nanded, where I sang this as well. Baba Sucha Singh wanted me to sing this. A very rare, but that was the first one. But this composition, the second illustration of the healing, which is very clear. I hope the scholar, learned professor is here. By Guru Ram Das in Rakshut Saram is an illustration I am giving. It's usually daytime raga, pre-noon or almost noon. So in India it is that time. So I think sing. I'm an Indian passport holder. So I'm not going to adhere to the Californian time. So you see, when it matches, suits you, you do that. So I am switching. I don't have to switch the clock. I am singing according to my clock now. So the Shabad is very interesting, very, very extraordinary. Japa mana nar har swami, har sagala dev deva, Sri Ram nama, har pritam mora. And the first stanza is Jit grah gun gavate, hari ke gun gavate, Ram gun gavate, tit grah baje panch shabad bad bhag mathora, tin janake sab paap gaye, sab dokh gaye, sab rog gaye. So it says Jit grah, the body, the being within which gun gavate, the virtues are being sung. Whose is a silent question. Hari ke gun gavate. The guna of the Hari, but which Hari? He says Ram guna gavate, the one who's Rama hua, not Dasrath ka beta Ram, but the Rama hua Ram. Ram guna gavate, tit grah baje panch shabad vad bhag mathora. The Shreshth Shabda resounds. And then the first is Jit Grah Gun Gavate, Hari Ke Gun Gavate, Ram Gun Gavate, Tit Grahi Baje, Panch Sabad Bad Bhag Mathora, Tin Jan Ke, Sab Paap Gaye, Sab Dukh Gaye, Sab Rog Gaye, Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Abhiman Gaye, Tin Jan Ke Harimar Kade Panch Chora. And this last line is extraordinary. Tin Jan Ke Harimar Kade Panch Chora. So even you cannot say that I killed the 5 vices. Guru Ramdas says, Tin Jan Ke Harimar Kade Panch. Requisites are there, prerequisites. But then Hari comes and eradicates even the 5, the last of the 5 ills. And extraordinarily, Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Hankar, or Halimi, humility, Bhakti, there's no way to measure. I cannot say I have 20 kilos of Bhakti Bhav and Professor Pashora Singh has 25 kilos, Dr. Sahota has 50 kilos. We can't measure it. So these are esoteric realms, we don't venture into that. But look at this extraordinary kind. The last part is Hari Ram Bolo, Hari Sadhu, Hari Ke Jan Sadhu, Jagadish Japo Man Vachan Karam, Har Har Aradhu, Hari Ke Jan Sadhu. Hari Ram Bol, Sab Paap Gavadu. Nowadays, if I go to Punjab and say Hari Ram Bol, say, hey, Vaheguru Ji ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji ki Fateh Bol. People have forgotten what is Guru saying. Say Hari Ram. But this is not the other Hari Ram, the appropriate Hari Ram. This is the one who's Hariya. Hari is Aprabhamsh of Hariya, jo hara hua hai sari srishti mein. Ram is the Aprabhamsh of Ramaiya, jo rama hua hai sari srishti mein. Sham is the Aprabhamsh of Samiya, jahan ka meet sahajan hai Samiya, tis jan ka hoga hagi kabiya. People have forgotten their etymologies. Aprabhamsh, how does it come? So, this is an extraordinary composition. I'll sing this. And it's a very complex structure as well. It's one of the marvels in the field of musicology and music. 15 beats is the first, and then it changes into 12 beat first, Charta Drut Gati composition. And I present to you this, and I'll sing maybe one short composition after. Then I will sing. Anji, sing, ladies, I need to hear. Otherwise, they will claim I don't teach. There was a mention of the serpent earlier. Sarang also means a snake. And the singing of the rag Sarang says that you can control or you can tame the restless psyche like that of a snake. Is the saying attributed with the rag Sarang. And this marvel of Guru Ramdas, I've done particular study of his works. Jab man nar hare nar swami, jab man nar hare nar swami, jab man nar hare nar swami, har dev deva Sri Ram Ram Nama har sagal dev deva Richard asked me to come to Source in '94 and start my MA PhD program. And I had given him a proposal. It was the early analysis I had done of the original repertoire of the Gurus, which was when the mind is being spoken to, there's a particular way. When Gyan is being given, out of the 3 octaves, it happens in a certain way. When there is celebration, another thing happens. That's when I say we need to first look and research on the material that exists. It's not just about a song. There's so much. It's going back in centuries, that repertory, that repository of information they have. This composition is the conversation with the mind. Stop. Something's broken, but look at the line, keeping the 12 beats, you'll see it's the way intricately it is weaved. Tan Guru Ramdas. Stanza. Swami Is it okay?
Yes.
I can go on the whole night.
No. One
I'm
last.
now sort of getting into the mood.
We understand.
I'm forgetting I'm jet lagged. I'm just giving illustrations. I can go and I'm feeling like singing an alap now, maybe for an hour or so. So what do I sing now is the question. It is Basant. I will end with a form of Basant, which is rare, and it is usually a composition or we usually end our I'm going to sing two quick compositions. I'm going to shorten the time of the one I was to sing. I was to take like 20 minutes for the last composition because I didn't ask you how many minutes. I asked you one composition. So I'm splitting that. I hope you control them and not be fast. This is a very beautiful composition, and you know, say and you're damned, and you don't say you're damned. Long time ago, a few light years ago, when I was a young fellow, and I told the Ragis and these Ravabis and everybody who was singing, who had anything to do with singing, I said, hey, come on guys, people, you need to spend some time learning the original ragas. Has the Guru written Rag, Shri, Mahala Pehla, or whichever way you like? This was my, like when I was, you can imagine me like a 20, 21-year-old fellow. I'd just given up my flying career then. Hey, Guru never wrote Ragasa, Mahla Panjama, or Jahan Jive Todi Mauj. So my address to the people who had made it a profession, suddenly it has been stereotyped that Bhai Baldeep Singh says, you must only sing in ragas. Yes, you must learn, it's your duty. Guru sang in a raga, you must also learn. But the context, been taken out of context, is one thing. Now there's some people, so, you know, like reborn, this religion, reborn that, so some people are now so correct now, they try to be more correct than life actually is, and there's nothing called correct and incorrect. That's the beauty of life. And so this composition that I'm singing is a non-conformist, if I may say. It is not sung composed in the original raga that it was written. It's in fact from by Gurdas's thing, and it's not written in a raga. This is a very beautiful composition. It talks of the idea of humility, the idea of prayer, the idea of cajoling the Almighty, the idea of enticing the Almighty, you know. In other words, simply you're trying to fool God into, you know, giving you nirvana. Otherwise, we know we don't deserve it. So you say, come on, you know, you're this, you're that, you're so kind, this and that. So it's that kind of a setting in which Bhai Gurdas says ke to so na nath, anath na mosar. There is no Lord like you. No nath, no attain, no fullness like you. No Lord or owner like you. And anath na mosar, no orphan like me. Boso na deen, toso na dani. There's no humble, no meek like me. There's no generous one like you. So this kind of a conversation, it goes on, and I'll just very 4 quick lines, and I'll give you an illustration. And it's very, very nice. You will enjoy it in 12 beats. And my granduncles used to really excel in this. I'm a little baby in that. None like you. उपासक है, हम जब बैठते हैं गाने लगते हैं उसकी मूर्ति बना देते हैं। अब देखिएगा जिस तरह मैं नाथ कहूंगा मूर्ति बन जाएगी आपके सामने, आपको आकार दिखेगा। हम जो ना छुआ जा सकता हो उसको यूं छूते हैं। तो सो नाथ, तो सो नाथ, तो सो नाथ। Playing itself, like breeze plays with itself. Only element should be air. Your hands, forget it exists. And the drum should have merged into nothingness by now, or everythingness by now. They all are in equal measure. It's when you gain the and it's used to say Dayal Natosam. The horizon, imagine, how do you say, just by saying Dayal के कितना दयालु है? आप आकार से कह सकते हैं, अपने आकार में निराकार को ढूंढ कर कह सकते हैं आप। ये पैराडॉक्स सॉल्व किया हुआ है। जैसे सुन मन अकथ कथा हरि नाम, listen to mind the ineffable tale of the one. It's ineffable yet is being told to the mind. That paradox is solved here. And Deen is Dayal. Deen, he is the smallest possible vowel. Is the loudest.
Ajnani na
there is no sinner such as me, none chaste than you. I will end. And to lastly, it's been a pleasure really for me to meet. I mean, it's been 2 years now I've actually entered the realm of active politics. So it's seldom I get to write now and to engage with scholars. I mean, the university I had research faculty, Professor Gurbani Singh had been the conspirator, fortunately for all of us, at the Gurbani University. So he is the one, because me and him go way back. I had agreed to be a visiting professor, but again the universities keep a little distance from active politicians. So I'm now the quote-unquote adjunct professor. I mean, now I know what it actually means. I'm actually a certified illiterate. You see, I just know I've been sort of on the road and digging, collecting stuff, you know. Somebody says, oh, I know this. I said, can I have it, please? Somebody said, I got this, I can have it. So it's been an honor to meet so many wonderful scholars and researchers, and it's been an eye-opener for me. It's been also wonderful for me to see the kind of community elders this area is, graced with, and how actively they are participating in one of the most important arenas, which is academia, and the way they are so generously contributing. You see, resources, financial resources is just a small portion, that they are actually giving time. Time is time is priceless. They have donated time, and they are continuing to do so. They're pledging to do so, and I'm personally grateful to all of them.